Okay. Hello, beautiful people. This is the second episode of the series, DevOps series by Bash Women Community. And we have a very special guest, Ashutosh Saxena. And we have already so much audience, and their excitement is showing on the um comment section. So, Ashutosh, how are you? And can you introduce yourself to the
Yeah.
audience?
How are you, Seema? I'm good, thank you. So my name is Ashutosh Saxena, and I'm serving as a cloud engineer at the Searce Incorporation. And I have a keen interest in DevOps and cloud technologies. And I've gone through five Red Hat certifications and one GCP certifications recently. So my area of expertise lies in containers, orchestration, automation, IaaC, and like this.
Okay, that's amazing. And in today's session, what you are going to cover?
Today we're going to cover the topic that is known as Docker. But before directly jumping towards the Docker, we need to introduce what actually a container is. What is the power of containers? How containers, if you're using the containers or orchestration tools, so how they can change your
Exactly.
life and how they can make such a beautiful impact on your application development and deployment.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we get started?
Sure,
Okay. The stage is all yours, and I'm gonna
sure.
leave. Like I'm
Okay.
here, but yeah, I will not be
Mhm.
visible on the screen. Okay.
Sure, sure.
You can
Perfect,
start
perfect.
sharing your screen.
Sure. I'm stopping my camera, so I'll just share my screen, okay? Just a second. Okay, is it visible? Okay, cool.
It's visible.
So, uh, we are going to learn what actually a container is. Okay, before directly jumping towards the Docker and everything, the core technology. But before directly jumping towards the core technology, you need to understand what actually what actually container is, right? Let's say uh, you've got a game or something like this. Okay, you got a game from the market, or you downloaded the game in your PC. Let's say, for instance. So you're installing that respective game in your PC. This is your PC, let's say. Okay, this is your PC, and you're installing that game in your PC. Okay, you clicked on the setup. It's installing some of the files. The progress bar is going on like this, and suddenly you got a let's say you got a dependency error. Let's say let's say you have a missing DLL file. DLL file stands for dynamic link library. Let's say one DLL file is missing. Okay, for instance, you've searched that respective DLL file on the internet, and you've got the DLL file. And after downloading that DLL file, you have put that DLL file in the respective folder, and you started the setup again. Okay. Now the setup is running and smoothly. Suddenly, you got one more dependency error. Let's say for instance, you got the error for the DirectX. Let's say. Now, what is the DirectX? We are not here to understand what actually DirectX is. Okay, let's say you got the error for the DirectX. Now you need to, kind of uh, solve this dependency issue also. Oh my God, you need to download the DirectX with the compatible version of, if you're using Windows 10. That means this is a nightmare. So what you need to do is you just need to find the compatible version of the DirectX, and you need to install the DirectX. And after installing that DirectX, your game will be installed. Okay, and this is not guaranteed that your game will be executed in this respective environment. Let's say the Windows 10 compatibility is not supporting. If you change the compatibility to Windows 7 or anything else, that means you need to do some kind of configuration by yourself. Okay, in that particular case, you have gone through many kind of troubleshooting and configuration by yourself. Okay, let's say, what if I say I'll give you one box which will contain everything, everything which you can think of to play your game. Let's say for the game, I'm just taking an example here for the game. You have everything packaged inside this respective box. everything, each and everything you need to run your software. You don't need any extra dependencies, not a single one dependency out of this box. You will never get a dependency error. What if I say, don't you think this is kind of a magic or something? Huh? A magic like thing? MAGIC. This is the power of the containers. Okay, let's say this is a container. Let's say not this is a real container. You got this container, and this container contains everything. Everything means everything, every file you need, every kind of configuration you need to run or execute or deploy your respective application. Okay, let's take one more example. If this seems kind of uh, hard to you or tough to understand. Okay, let's say you have your computer. Okay, now what you need to do is you just need let's say you need one software. Okay, you need one software which supports only version Python 2. Let's say you need one software which supports only Python version 2, py2, and another software you need require which supports only version Python 3, py3. This is kind of a dharma sankat. Okay, how can you do this? You how can you let's say how can you install the Python 2 and Python 3 on a same PC? And these are dependencies, these are hard dependencies. Let's say any version of the software requires only Python 2 version. If it will found Python 3, it will not be executed. And one software require Python 3, if it will found Python 2, it will not be executed. So this is kind of a really a dharam sankat. So what you'll do, let's say I'll give you one environment like this. I'll give you one environment like this, where you got something that is known as isolation. Let's see, Python 2 isolation and Python 3 isolation. Let's say in this isolation, you've installed Python 2, py2, and in this isolation you got Python 3. Perfect. Now you can install this. The machine is same. Please understand, this machine is same. Okay, now you have the two isolated environments from each other, completely isolated from each other, where Python 2 is installed in one environment and Python 3 is installed in one environment, and you can deploy your respective application in that respective environment, and no dependency error will be found. This is something like a magic. Okay, so this is the real power of the containers. This is a container which has all the dependencies and every configuration for the Python 2, and you can deploy or run your executor software in this respective container, and you can deploy your respective software for the supported version of Python 3 in this container. So this is the real power of container. How they'll get the isolation and everything. This is a deep Docker concept. But for instance, like let's say someone asks how they can be isolated, why the containers are so fast. This is the most asked interview question in the DevOps world. Okay, so the concept behind this is known as namespacing. I'm not going to explain what actually namespacing is. This is a bigger topic. Okay, so we'll see this in the future. Okay, so this is the real power of containers. You deploy one environment only. Okay, that it will hardly take let's say it will hardly take 10 MB, and it will take approximately 10 to 12 seconds to start this container. Only 10 to 12 seconds. 10 से 12 बहुत ज़्यादा बोल दिया. Let's say it will take only 5 seconds, let's say, and your complete environment is completely ready. Either .NET, either Node.js, or anything environment, any environment you can think of, everything is available. Okay, perfect. So this is the power of container, and why they are so fast and how they are achieving this kind of isolation. This is known as namespacing. The concept is namespacing and C groups. We are going I'm not going to touch the C groups and the namespacing right now, because our motto is not to understand a deep Docker. I'm going to understand. I'm going to show you what actually how I'm going to show you how to deploy your own containers and some hands-on part. Okay, so let's directly jump towards the hands-on part. Okay, I'm going to deploy one container. Okay, I'm going to deploy one container, and I'm going to deploy that on the Google Cloud platform. Don't worry if you don't have access to the GCP or the AWS or Azure. You can download the Docker on your local machine also. Okay, I'll in the end of the video I'll show you how to download Docker with the compatible version on your machine. Okay, but before that I'm going to show you one greater concept. If you download the Docker on your Windows, okay, if you download the Docker on your Windows, it will start a virtual machine at the back. You will never know a virtual machine is started at the back. Okay, this is the Linux VM. It will be started at the back. Okay, if you download the Docker, if let's say if you don't have the virtual box or any kind of virtualization enabled on your Windows machine, but it will talk to a self-created virtual machines if you download it on a Windows host. A Linux VM will be deployed at the back. You will never know about this. Okay, this is the concept which you need to know, and this is a greater question which is asked in interviews also. Okay, perfect. So let's directly jump towards the hands-on part. I'm going to deploy the containers in front of you guys. Okay, so but from where I can get these containers? Where? मतलब कहीं तो होंगे. Where these containers are? कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? कौन है ये लोग? कहाँ से आते हैं ये? कहीं से तो आते हैं. कहाँ से? यहाँ से. माउस आ गया. Yeah, we'll get them from here. hub.docker.com. This is known as this is a free repository for the Docker images. Let's say you can get any kind of Docker environments over here. Let's say Node.js. Okay. These are the environments prepared. Let's search for the node. Okay. This is the node image prepared by the Docker community only. Okay, this is the Mongo Express. That is the MongoDBs and Express is pre-installed in this respective image. Okay, and you can create your own custom image also, which we are going to create in this video. Okay, and you can also push that respective image on the Docker Hub. I pushed some of the image, some images over here. Okay. I don't remember my password. This is not my real ID. This is for the organization. Let's search in here. hub.docker.com. You can push your own custom images over here also. Like I've pushed some of the images, like app 1 version 1 version 2 web server. Okay, you can push your custom created images over here also. We are going to create one self-created image of the Docker. Now, what actually a container is, you've got what actually a container is. Yeah, I think you understood this concept. Now they're going to understand what actually an image is. Okay, these images are freely available. Don't worry, they won't cost you anything. Okay, these respective images are freely available. You can download them from the Docker. Now, how to download? I'm going to show you in the hands-on. But these respective images are freely available. Okay, now what actually an image is? Okay, what actually an image is? Let's say for to install an OS, let's say you need an image, right? An ISO image, ISO. These images are like ISO only. Okay, you just download you just download these images in your local machine, and they are executed. Now they are not known as downloading these images. This is known as, in case of Docker, this is known as pulling the images or pull. You just need to pull this image from where? From the Docker Hub. Or if you're using some kind of cloud, you can use For let's say if you're using the Amazon AWS, you can use ECR, which is known as Elastic Container Service. And for the GCP, you can use GCR, which is known as Google Cloud Container Registry. And this is known as Elastic Container Registry. And the service is known as ECS, Elastic Container Service, which is the service for to deploy the containers on the AWS, or for the Fargate, this is known as serverless. And for the GCR is known as Google Cloud Container Registry. But for normal people, this is known as Docker Hub, which is the images are freely available. Okay. Now I'm going to download or pull the image from the Docker Hub. I'm going to show you the hands-on part right now. Okay. Okay. So this is my cloud environment. Is there. Cool. So I'm going to download or pull an image that is known as a hello world from the Docker Hub. Docker run. If you need to execute or run any image on your local machine, you just need to use the command docker run and the name of the image, hello-world. Hello world. Docker run. Everything will be explained in this video. So what this line actually means: unable to find the image hello-world latest locally. Okay. Unable to find image hello-world latest locally. That means, that simply means we are not able to find this respective image that is known as hello world locally. That means this is not available in the local environment right now. Okay, locally available nahi hai. That's why it is contacted to the Docker Hub. When I executed this command, this respective command, docker run hello world. Now it was unable to find, the Docker was unable to find the hello world image on my local machine right now. Okay, so it gone towards the Docker Hub. Docker Hub se bola ki just give me the hello world image. Okay, hello world image has been pulled from the Docker Hub and it is executed on my local machine. Okay, you can connect your Docker towards the GCR or ECR. That's completely your choice. But for now, we are talking towards the Docker Hub. Since the hello world image was not available locally on my instance or on my machine, it's contacted to the Docker Hub and is pulled on my local machine. And what it is printed hello from Docker. Okay, let's say I'm going to execute this command one more time. Perfect. Why this haven't shown me this message, unable to find the image hello world locally? It haven't shown me this command. Let's clear the terminal, for instance. Docker run hello world. Unable to find image locally. There was nothing like that because the image was present. Now, how do I know the image is present or not? The command is known as docker images. Oh, that means this image is present. This command is if you need to find out how many images are present locally, so you can use this command docker images, and it will show you how many images are present in your machine. This is known as tag or image ID. This is some kind of a deeper concept. It will take time. So I'm just touching the high level concepts over here, okay, for the sake of time. So okay, but what is the use of this image? Let's try some another thing. Docker, there's something that is known as the image that is known as Busybox Docker Run. But before that, let's clear a terminal. Docker run Busybox. Cool. Okay, it's pulled. Unable to find the image Busybox latest locally, and the pull is complete. And this is something that is known as the image ID. Okay, the status is downloaded. If you're going to see the docker ps command. Okay, now what actually a docker ps command is? Docker ps simply tells, okay, how many images are currently running. Okay, but there's nothing. Okay, but if you need to run this image, you need to use something, a flag that is known as -i and t. Now, what actually -i means? -i simply means the input which we are going to give to this respective image. And hyphen T means interaction. Okay, not the terminal. This is the myth. Okay, if I execute this command without T also, I'm able to talk to this busybox image. Okay, this is a myth that if you don't use the hyphen T, it will won't give you the terminal. This is the biggest myth available in the market. Okay, if I execute this without T command also, without T flag also, I'm able to access the terminal. Okay, but let's say I'm going to use this. Perfect. ls everything looks great. Now let's exit from this. Now I was able to access this image. Okay, now if I remove this T, what do you think? Will I be able to access its terminal? You know what, guys? I'm inside the terminal. You won't believe me? Look at this. So this is the biggest myth which is taught. Like if you won't use the T, you won't be able to. If you won't use the hyphen T flag, you won't be able to access the terminal. This is the biggest myth. I'm able to access the terminal. Okay, but why the T is only for the presentation? Like you can see these directories in the blue color, the presentable. कि भाई ऐसे हैं, अभी तो ऐसे भद्दे लग रहे हैं. पहले there was something that does not look like a shell. Okay, the asset shell. This is not the born again shell of bash. This is the normal shell, asset shell. Okay, so this looks something like a presentable thing. But what is this here? Nothing. Okay. So if I need to execute this busybox in the background, I'm going to detach it. I'm going to detach it from the terminal. Okay, hyphen D simply means detach. Okay, and if I need to execute some command, okay, let's say hello. Okay, hello executable. Okay, echo hello. Docker ps has executed, but this was executed actually. So what happened here? What actually happened here is that it executed this command and it simply exited out. Okay, so what happened is the this container is executed, and when you got this respective big number, this is known as the container ID. Okay, now I was able to access this terminal, its terminal without the T flag also. So I think
Ashutosh,
that your yeah.
can you zoom in a little bit
Sure.
or increase the
Visible?
font size?
I think it's properly visible right now. Is it visible?
Yeah, I think it's better. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so I think you got the concept and you got the myth. Okay, so what's actually happened? Why the respective flags have been used? Okay, perfect. So uh, this is known as the command which are given after the Docker command. This is technically known as default command override. Okay, I think you can pin down this things, because this is also a greater question which has been asked in the DevOps interviews. The command which you give after this execution command. Okay, this command echo hello. Okay, so this is technically known as default command override. Okay, this is known as default command override. Okay, so let's say I'm going to ping Google with this image, docker run hyphen d simply means I want to detach it from the terminal. I for the input, T for the interaction, busy box ping google.com. Ping google.com. Perfect. Enter. Now what is this? This is the ID. This is known as the ID of the container, which is executing at the back. Why at the back? Because I've detached it from the terminal hyphen D. So let's say docker ps, which will show you the running containers at your environment. The ping google.com is known as default command override. Technical name is known as default command override. No one is going to tell you this. Okay. So if I'm going to if for let's instance I want to go inside this running container, this is also possible. Let's say if you want to configure something. Okay, let's say you want to configure anything of your choice. You want to go inside this respective container. How can you do this? You need to execute this container. How? Exec. Docker exec hyphen I simply means the input. All the values and the meanings are same. T for the interaction. Docker exec hyphen it, the ID of the running container you need to copy and paste. And you need to use the shell. Definitely, you need the terminal to interact. So some of the containers support the bash shell. Some of the containers support sh shell. Okay, bash is the improved version of the sh shell that is known as the born again shell. But I know this supports the sh shell, so I'm going to use the sh shell. Now we are inside this container. Okay, we are inside this respective container. I can go inside the home. Nothing is there. Very well. Oh, okay. So this is how you go inside the respective container. Docker exec hyphen I simply means the input. Okay, and hyphen T simply means for the interaction. Please clear your myths. Okay, that without using T, you cannot access the terminal. This is the biggest myth. Okay, you can access the terminal, but it does not seem that much presentable or that much kind of good looking. Okay, perfect. So what's next? So till now what we were doing, we were just uh, using the images which have been created by some any other person or some any other engineer. That's the Busybox or the Hello World or let's say anything, any image. We are using the images which have been pre-created by any other engineer. Okay. What if I say you I can make my own image? What if I say you I can make my own custom image? Okay. So this is also possible. How? The concept for this is known as a Docker file. Okay. Great typo mistakes, Docker file. Okay, cool. But remember one thing. Docker file, Docker files, D is always capital, and there's no extension with this file. Okay, nothing like .NET or .java, .cpp or .py, nothing. No extension. Only the Docker file. And the D is always capital. Okay. So we're going to create our own custom image, खुद की सगी अपने personal हाथों से image. Okay, so this we are going to create our own image right now. Okay, perfect. So how can we do this? But before that, I'm going to show you some of the greater commands. Let's say if you want the stats of the running container. The running container is this. If you want the stats of this container, how can you do this? Docker container stats. And you can copy this running container ID. Paste this. This is the live stats. Live stats, what's happening? Okay, the memory, net input output, block input output, processes, CPU, how much CPU it is using, and everything. Okay, and if you want the currently running processes, the command is docker top, docker container top, and the ID of the running container is the running processes. Okay, and if you need to inspect this container, that means if you need to check the IP of the container and some of the grid information, you can always use the inspect command. Inspect. This is the much greater information which is available in the JSON format. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, cool. MAC address, an IPv6 gateway, IP address of this container, gateway, endpoint, network ID, alias, and many things. networks. This is the most my favorite concept that is known as the Docker networking. Okay, soon we'll understand this in the future. Good. So right now we're going to cover the concept that is known as a Docker file. We can create our own images from our hands, the custom images. The images still we are using right now have been created by some other person, some other engineers, or the Docker hub. We can create our own image also. How? Why Docker file? For that, I'm going to create one folder. Let's say Docker underscore folder. Let's say Docker underscore data. PD Docker underscore data. Now I'm going to show you how to create a web server inside the container. How to create the web server inside the container. This is so awesome. You don't need any kind of big dedicated servers to set up the web servers. You can set up one web server, the real web server inside our Docker container, maximum to maximum, the minimum size with the maximum efficiency and as fast as possible. This will be a real web server which I'm going to deploy, and the people can talk to this web server. In the real world, the bigger web servers are deployed like inside the containers only, inside the orchestration tools like Kubernetes, which is my favorite, OpenShift, Mesos. Okay, these are this is the kind of trend which is available. Why Kubernetes and why containers? The Kubernetes is the awesome concept, which I'm not going to tell you what actually Kubernetes is, but I'm going to show you how can you deploy your custom image, and in that custom image, how can you deploy the real web server. Okay, for that, I'm going to use a language that is known as Node.js. Don't worry, guys. If you don't know Node.js, that's completely fine. I'm going to explain or elaborate you the each line of the code which I'm going to write in front of you right now. What actually happening at the back end? सब कुछ समझ में आएगा. Don't worry. Each line you'll understand. Okay, Node.js, and I'm going to make this web server via Node.js. Okay, perfect. So yeah. So first, I'm going to create one file that is known as index.js, vim index.js. And I'm going to use one framework with a Node.js that is known as Express. Express is a lightweight framework for the Node.js, which is the most popular framework for the Node. If you have ever worked on the development, right? If you have ever worked on the backend, that means you truly heard what Express is used for. This is a lightweight framework for the Node.js. I love Express and I love Node.js. Okay, till the second year, I was doing the full stack projects. Till my second year of engineering, I've done for so many projects. पैसे भी कमाए उससे, and with the technologies like Node, Express, MongoDB, React, and JavaScript versions ES5 and ES6, ES7. So for the right now, I'm going to use the JavaScript ES6. But actually, ES6, if you don't know JavaScript, if you don't know Express, that's completely fine. Okay, ES6 is the version of JavaScript. So I'm going to use that version. So now I'm going to write the code over here. Don't worry, each line of the code will be elaborated, and the concepts will be crystal clear. Okay, so I'm going to make a variable that is sorry, I'm going to make a constant Express equals to. Don't worry, सबको सारा कोड समझ में आ जाएगा, चिंता मत करो. Okay, this is the syntax for ES6, the newer JavaScript. this arrow syntax. This is known as arrow function. This is just a normal function like which we use in the Python or the C++. So res send. Don't worry, code समझाऊंगा अभी. Hi, this is coming from root route. Okay, app dot get. Let's say next. Don't worry, guys. हो रहा है, सबको समझ में आएगा. Coming from the, let's say, next route. So they can segregate the things. Next route. And obviously we need to listen somewhere. App dot listen. Let's say port number 8080. And request, comma response. This is the empty function. Console.log server is started. Okay. All right. Understand this thing.
Ashutosh?
Okay. Yeah.
I think we can change the theme of the shell.
You can change the
to
theme
light
of the
theme.
shell.
I think
Okay,
so.
wait.
We can.
Color themes, light. Oh, I think this is visible right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, no issues. So, so what we're going to, what actually we are doing in this respective code is, okay. So we are using one framework that is known as Express. We are calling that respective framework in our code. Require means कि हमें चाहिए requirement. Okay, we just require this respective framework in our code, and to execute this framework, this is the biggest, very big framework you cannot execute in one go. Okay, to execute this respective framework, I've created one constant that is known as app. This is the execution of the framework. Now, if you have ever heard about HTTP verbs, like get, post, put, delete, update, okay, so these are known as HTTP verbs. Get simply means when you let's say when you type a URL, okay, when you type a URL in the search bar, when you type a URL in the search bar, uniform resource locator, you just ask for a web page from your ISP or any other, the internet service provider. You just ask for the web page. That means you're using a get request over here. Get कि मुझे दिखाओ वो page, get request, and it simply show you the page to the user. यहाँ पे बच्चा गलत होंगे. This is the user. Okay, this is known as get request. Get का मतलब ये तो दिखाओ हिंदी भाषा में. So, and let's say if you're submitting a form, let's say if you're making a new Facebook account, that means you need to enter your name, your surname, gender, email address, or anything. I don't remember. So that means you are pushing this information. You're giving some information of yours. That means you are using a post verb over here of the HTTP. Post. You post कर रहे हैं. And this data is stored in the backend in a database, any database which Facebook is using. Okay, so this is known as get, this is known as post. Get का मतलब है कि simple से जो पेज सामने जो भी हम चाह रहे हैं एक्सेस करना, just show me this page. This is known as the get request. And post, when you post something via a form or something like this is known as post request. And for the update delete, that means we need to go inside a deeper dive. But for the instance, just to save the time, this is the concept. So that means I'm requesting for this page that is known as slash. Slash is technically known as root route. That means when you type a google.com, this is known as slash route. The father, the parent route. Technically, this is known as root route. That means if any person which is going to hit this slash route, okay, this is known as object request and response. That means response res dot send. You need to send this message. And app.get, if anyone hits on this route slash next, the response will be sended. Response.send this message. This is coming from the next route. And we need to listen somewhere. Okay. So we are listening on the port number 8080. Okay. And as the server started, it will be printed the server started. It will be started on the backend. Okay. Now, what actually happening over here? We need to, okay, sorry. We need this something, we need this express framework right now. So how can we get this? Okay. Just a second. It's just a second, guys. It's lagged. Open another terminal. At index.js. Okay, the code is ready. Now we need this Express framework, and for that we need to write one dependency file that is known as package.json. Package.json contains every the dependency or the software which is required by this JavaScript code. Okay, so we are going to write this file by ourselves. Okay, so this is a JSON file. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and I'm going to write this file in front of you. Dependencies. Which dependency we're going to use? We're going to use Express. I'm using Express over here. That means we can use any version of Express. Okay. And we need to start a node server inside the container. So what we're going to use? We're going to use some scripts. The script is going to start the Node.js server. Perfect. So what's happening over here is we are using a dependency at Express. Why we are using this file? Because all the softwares, all the frameworks, or anything which have been used by the Node.js is written in this file. This is known as package.json file. Okay, package.json simply means all the dependencies or the softwares which is required by the Node.js code, which have been required, which we are calling. That means we are use the const express equal to require express. The code requires the express, but where it can find the express? It can find that express framework inside this particular file, package.json. Asterisk simply means we can use any version of express. Okay, so let's come out of this. Let's clear the terminal. Cat package.json. Good. If I'm not wrong, I think this is the correct configuration. So we are going to make our own Docker file right now. Docker file. Remember, there's no extension with the Docker file over here. The D is capital. Okay. Okay, guys, you need to heads up. I'm going to make some mistakes intentionally over here. कुछ गलतियां मैं जानबूझ के करूंगा. so that you can check up the errors which you can face when you are creating your own Docker file. Okay, if I simply go straight forward that how to create a Docker file, it will give you nothing. Okay, so I'm going to do some intention. I'm going to produce some intentional errors. Okay, right now. Okay, so there's known as a for to make a Docker file. What you need to do is just understand this concept, and you will never fail in creating any of a Docker file. Never, never, never. Okay, so for the Docker file, you need three things. Always remember this. You will never fail in creating your Docker file. Three things you require. Only three things. The first thing is you need a base image. Now, what is a base image? Base image का मतलब अपन when you're creating your own image, your own custom image. Okay, for that custom image, you need another image, on another some sub pre-created image to make your own image. Any pre-created image from a Docker Hub or GCR or ECR or anything, which is available on any X repository. Okay, you need some base image which is pre-created to create your own image. Okay, the first one is base image. The second one is your own configurations. I think the spelling is correct. Configuration simply means what actually you need inside your pre-created image. Like, let's say you need to start the web server, or you need to execute some other script or anything. Let's say you want to change the port number or anything. I mean, anything. Your own configurations. And the third thing is the command. Which command? The command simply means the command which is used to start, or which is used to kind of execute your whole the Docker file or your respective environment. So okay, so these three things which you require, okay, to create your own Docker file. You will never fail in creating your own Docker file, okay, when you follow these three steps. Never ever. Command simply means over here is you need to specify that command which you need to execute your software. Configuration simply means the dependencies you're configuring or anything. The base image simply means to create your own image, you need a base image which is pre-created, which is available on Docker Hub, ECR, or GCR, or anything, any container repository. Okay, so I'm going to create one Docker file. I'm going to repeat this again. I'm going to make some errors intentionally, जानबूझ के करूंगा गलतियां, so that you can troubleshoot the errors if you see the errors like this. Let's say from simply means I'm going to use one base image. From means किससे बना रहे हैं. Okay, let's say I'm going to use some image that is known as Alpine. Let's say run. I need to run. Let's npm install. Npm simply means a node package manager. Node package manager, what a node package manager will do, it will check the package.json file. It will check the package.json file and any XYZ softwares which are available in the package.json. In our case, the Express is available. In our case, the Express is available. It will download the Express. Okay, npm node package manager simply talks towards the package.json file and it will download the Express. Okay, perfect. So run npm install. Install simply means it will install the Express, and I'm going to give the command. Command, what command? To start the node server. Npm start. Understand this syntax. You cannot give all the commands like a normal command. For that, you need to use the run command like this. There's something that is known as an entry point in case of Dockerfile, but there's a deeper concept which we're not going to cover in this video. So CMD, just understand this syntax. Like you need to give these commands like this classified type or the segregated type. Okay, so you need to build this file. How can you build it? Docker build dot. Heads up one more time, guys. This is the biggest myth which is available in the market, that dot simply means the Docker file is present in the current directory. This is the simpler concept, guys. Please understand that this is a simpler concept, that this respective Docker file is available in your directory. Dot simply means that I know that. Everyone will know that. When an interview will ask you, how can you build an image? Sir, Docker build dot. What dot means over here? So dot simply means Docker file is present in that directory. To be really sure that interviewer will immediately quit your interview. This is the simplest answer you can give. That dot simply means Dockerfile is present. No, this is simplest answer. What is the technical reason behind this? The technical reason, this is known as a build context. Just pin this down or write this down or anything. But remember this thing. The dot simply means the build context. This is a technical name. If any interview will ask you, how can you build a Docker file? So Docker build dot simply means what? The build context. Perfect, you are hired. ऐसा नहीं होगा एक बार में हायर लेकिन फिर भी this is known as dot simply means known as the build context. Enter. Authorize. It's building the image. Okay, perfect. Something is happening. Oops. npm not found. Okay, कुछ तो error आया. But why? Why npm is not found? Because I'm not using some Node.js image. We need the Node.js environment, obviously. That's why I'm going to use some Node.js image. We need Node environment, obviously. So we are going to use the Node image. But only the naked Node image only contains the dependencies, the libraries, and everything which we don't require right now. The bigger softwares or bigger dependencies or bigger kind of scenarios, we are not going to create a bigger web server right now. So we need only one lighter image. So we are going to use Docker Alpine. The Alpine is a simply a lighter image for the Node.js. Node Alpine. Many of the Alpine images are available on the Docker Hub for HTTPD, MySQL, or anything, where you don't need the bigger dependencies or bigger kind of configurations or the where you just need to test the environment or something like this. You just need to use a lightweight image. For that, I'm using the Node Alpine image available over here, which is available on the Docker Hub also. Okay, from Docker Hub we are going to pull this image. Okay, I don't think so कि अब npm का issue आना चाहिए. Docker, let's clear the terminal. Docker build dot. Okay, something is happening. Great. Okay, oops, fired. Error. You need to troubleshoot this. Now, what's happening over here is, this is asking you need some kind of directory or some kind of working directory for your work area. ऐसा थोड़ी खुले में कोड छोड़ देंगे. So we need some working directory, some directory where we are going to put our code. Okay, so VIM Dockerfile, good. So this is known as a keyword that's known as work dir, where we are going to put our code inside the container, where the code will be executed inside the container, where will be the real that means the code, the environment or the folder where all of the code is present. That is known as the work dir, the working directory. ऐसा होता है ना कि I have all I've settled my everything, the mark sheets and everything in this respective folder. कि मेरा फोल्डर है, यहाँ पे मार्कशीट्स हैं 10th की 12th की बीटेक की एवरीथिंग या कुछ और चीजें हैं. सो वो मेरा वर्किंग डायरेक्टरी काइंड ऑफ मेरा वर्क स्पेस. दिस इज नोन एज अ वर्क स्पेस. सो आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ वर्क डायरेक्टरी /usr/app. That's it. Anything. Okay. So after that I'm going to copy the files which is available in this directory, the package.json obviously, and the index.js. Now what this thing means, copy //. What this thing means? This simply means copy everything which is present in this directory inside the container. इसका मतलब ये है कि यहाँ से जो the local environment and the inside the container, and where inside the container, in this working directory /usr/app. I hope you're getting this point. I'm repeating this one more time. Working directory simply means I hope you got this concept. Copy simply means copy everything which is present in this folder, and this is for the local environment, and this is for the container. Okay, and where to copy in this working directory /user/app. Okay, good. Okay, I don't think so. And any error will come. Docker build. Okay. Good. Running npm install. Don't worry, this is something. These are just a warnings, not the error. Okay, our image is successfully built. Congratulations, we have created our own image. So this is the ID of the image. We can give the name of the image also. This is tagging. I'm going to show it in just a couple of minutes. So I've created my own custom image. Yes, and I can start the web server from this. Really? Yeah. Let's copy this ID. Clear the terminal. Docker run -di. But before this image is available in our local environment also. Docker images. This image 34 seconds ago. Good. So Docker run -d detach input, and for interaction -dit and this. Okay, good. Okay, Docker ps. Wow, it's running. But how can I access this? But seriously, how can I access this web page? I don't know. I don't see any kind of URL or something. But first, let's Docker stop this. How to stop this container? The Docker stop and the ID of the container. But how can I access this? This is the biggest, kind of. But how can I access this? There's something that is known as port mapping concept. Port mapping. What actually port mapping is, we're about to finish. Don't worry. So let's say this is the outside user, and this is my machine where my Docker host is running, and this is my container. Sorry, obviously this is inside this. Let's say if any XYZ user is contacting, okay, and he or she wants to access the web server. He don't know, or he or the person don't know that the web server is running inside the container. It will the person cannot talk to the container directly. Okay, so we need some kind of a redirection so that we can. So the person will talk to a machine, and our machine will redirect your request inside the container on the respective port on which the web server is listening. In our case, it's 8080. 80. Overall 8. Okay. So we need some method so that any request which is coming from the outside world, which can redirect to our container. So technically, this is known as port mapping. This is the greater question which is asked in interviews. Port mapping. So how can you do this? The command is Docker run -d detach I input P for interaction -p. -p means publish. You can obviously use -f publish also. But now we can use -p, and on which port you want the users to listen on. Let's say 9000, and need to redirect on which the container on which the application is running or listening inside the container. In our case, it's 88. The image ID, right? Or container ID. मतलब कोई भी इस पोर्ट पे आए 9000 पे, तो इसको यहाँ रिडायरेक्ट कर दो. अपन इसको मैप कर दिया. This is known as port mapping. It's a greater concept, some concept. Okay, so we're going to execute this command. Don't worry, we're going to finish. Docker clear. Docker run -dit -p. Let's say 9000 :8080, and this. Okay, I think Docker images. Let's build this again. Don't worry. Clear. Docker build dot. Dot is known as build context. Always remember. Okay, cool. You got this. Docker run -dit -p 9000, कोई भी 9000 पे आएगा तो उसको रीडायरेक्ट कर दो 8080 पे, ठीक है, और पेस्ट दिस, ओके, डॉकर, यस, ओके, वाह चल रहा है, पोर्ट्स, कर्ल, लेट्स चेक दिस आउट, कर्ल localhost colon 9000, let's clear this terminal yaar, curl localhost colon 9000, perfect, this is coming from the route, congratulations, let's say check another route, next, this is coming from the next route, we have created the web server inside the docker container, and भरोसा नहीं हो रहा, कोई बात नहीं, netStat -t-nlp, yes something is listening on the port 9000, कोई भी 9000 पे आएगा तो अपने आप उसकी रिक्वेस्ट पोर्ट नंबर 8080 पर रिडायरेक्ट हो जाएगी अपने आप. So this is known as the port mapping. Let's change something. Let's change this index.js file from next to, let's say, another route. Let's say here I need to build this again. For that, first I need to stop this container because 9000 port बार बार अपन यूज कर रहे हैं. Docker ps, docker stop, clear, docker build dot. तो change किया because they changed something. But look at this, यहाँ कुछ time लग रहा है. But I don't think so. This is the kind of optimal way because I haven't updated any kind of software or something. I've just updated one code, one line of code. Still, this is installing all the packages again. This is not a good practice. I just simply changed a bit of code, a bit line of code. I don't want it to unnecessarily rebuild or unnecessarily install Express again and again because Express is already sorry, Express is installed already. I don't want any it want to be installed again and again. Let's say if I add any dependency like let's say MongoDB, so I obviously it will install a MongoDB. But I do if I change anything inside the code, I don't want to install Express again and again. This is not a good practice. Don't worry. So let's check. Is our container running? Docker ps. Yes. Just a second. Oh, sorry. I need to run this container from here. Don't worry, we can tag this image also with our name. I'm going to show you. Just a second. Docker run -dit -p. Let's say 9000 colon 8080. Clear. Docker. Yes. Okay, it's running. Good. So what you need to do is let's check curl curl localhost colon 9000 / next. Come and check next because I just changed in that only. This is coming from the another route. But मैंने एक छोटा सा चेंज किया तभी प्रॉपर डिपेंडेंसीज उसने इंस्टॉल की जो मैं नहीं चाहता. बार बार क्यों इंस्टॉल करें? Okay, for that you can optimize something. For let's say I'm going to stop this container, docker stop id, clear a terminal. Okay, we can change the docker file. Okay, we can change the docker file like this. Sorry, first copy only the package.json. पहले सिर्फ package.json कॉपी करो. कहां पे? कंटेनर के अंदर. उसके बाद npm इंस्टॉल कर लो. उसके बाद रिमेनिंग फाइल्स कॉपी कर दो. index.js जो भी तुम्हारे श्रद्धा से विश्वास हो, index // Why? क्योंकि obviously when we need to install any kind of software, okay, and it will be obviously will be installed by that package.json file. This is the this concept. I think this is clear inside your mind. But if I just updated a bit of code, but I haven't updated any kind of dependency, why should I install the dependencies again and again if it is pre-installed? This is the valid reason. So that's why first copy the package.json. पहले copy कर लो, उसके बाद में तुम install कर लो. अगर यहाँ पे कुछ तुमको चेंजेस मिलेगा कभी, मान लो MongoDB मैंने डाला, तब MongoDB इंस्टॉल कर देना, बार बार एक्सप्रेस इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत क्या है, just to save the time. Every second is valuable. Okay, so change this. Let's change the index.js file. Index.js. This is coming from, let's say, obviously I'm a DC fan, so Superman route. I'm going to build Docker image, Docker build. पहली बार में तो इंस्टॉल करेगा बिकॉज अपन ने कुछ चेंजेस किए डॉकर फाइल के अंदर, so that's why it's going to install the express once again. Don't worry. So I'm going to run this. How to tag this image, I'm going to show in the next step, which is the final step. Docker run -dit -p 9000 :8080 Docker ps. Perfect. Docker, sorry, why Docker? Curl localhost :9000/next. Backend is here. Perfect. This is coming from the Superman. Okay. Now I'm on the final step. Docker stop. Stopped. Clear the terminal. I'm going to change something in this file from the Batman route. Okay. Now I'm going to build this. Docker build dot. देखो बहुत जल्दी हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ. No dependencies, nothing was installed. It was used by the cache, using cache. Okay, so this is the point. Okay, so कोई डिपेंडेंसीज अगर थी नहीं, हमने कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डिपेंडेंसी इंस्टॉल नहीं की ना, कोई आई हैवंट काइंड ऑफ यूज एनी काइंड ऑफ एडिशनल सॉफ्टवेयर. एक्सप्रेस तो पहले से पढ़ा था, तो बाद में क्यों इंस्टॉल करेगा? दैट्स व्हाई इट वाज यूज्ड बाय द कैश. ओके, सो अब ये दिस इज द लास्ट स्टेप. आई एम गोइंग टू गिव अ नेम टू दिस इमेज. आईडी कब तक याद रखेंगे? वेयर इज द ह्यूमंस. हमको नाम पसंद है, तो डॉकर build -t. -t simply means tag the image. Let's say Ashutosh -node server. Dot means build context, obviously. Docker build -t. I'm tagging this image. ये नाम होगा, ठीक है? Good. So clear the terminal. Tag हो गई है, successfully tagged Ashutosh -node server :latest. Clear Docker images. देखो आशुतोष नोड सर्वर ये. अब इसको आप रन भी कर सकते हो, क्यों नहीं कर सकते? डॉकर रन -dit -p 9000 :8080 आशुतोष -web server :latest. टैग होता है, हो गया ना? वापस सोचा नहीं. डॉकर रन -dit -p docker ps curl localhost :9000/next. Okay, localhost. This is coming from the Batman route. Congratulations. Let's show you the files once again. Cat Dockerfile. This is Dockerfile. Cat index.js. This is index.js file. Cat packet.json. So I hope you got all the concepts कि कैसे क्या हो रहा है. Okay, so cool. That's all. Okay, so I hope you got all the concepts. If you have any kind of doubts, you can ask me.
Okay, we have a few questions and lots of compliments for you. So let me start with the questions. Yeah. Okay, so the first question is from Manish Sharma. He's asking, should I learn Flask first or Docker?
Hi Manish, it's completely up to you. Okay, it's completely up to you that you if you need to go inside the REST API or something like this. Okay, you can learn Flask, but I suggest you, if you're going towards a REST or something like this, I suggest you to go for the Node.js. But if you're good hands-on in Python, you can always choose Flask. Flask is
Yeah,
a good framework for the web development.
yeah. Another question from Manish is that also how is Docker different from Kubeflow and MLflow?
To be really honest, I don't know what actually Kubeflow or MLflow is. To be really honest, छुपाने कोई बात नहीं है. But yes, Docker is only for the container part. It is a container runtime. Many other
Hmm.
container runtimes are available, like the Podman or the Cryo, Rocket. Many of the container runtimes are available. If you have heard the news, like the after the Kubernetes version, I think 1.19 or 1.20, Seema, the Kubernetes deprecated Docker. Okay, they're using the container runtime that is known as containered. Okay, Docker is the container runtime only, which is providing the runtime container. Okay, if you need a container environment, you can go for a Docker, containered, Podman, or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Mm, let me search. Okay. So a few compliments for you. Ashutosh is Super Pro Max Duplex OG guy,
What's
and
OG? Thank you so much for this compliment. But what's OG over here?
yeah, I don't know the slang, but I hope it's cool. Okay, so Ahmed is saying Ashutosh is really giving so much effort, more than an hour long tutorial. I'm getting everything from this talk: concepts, visualization, code, errors, proper explanation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ahmad.
Yeah, okay, one point to add. He taught me Docker like a year ago, I guess, a year or so. Yeah, he is the most dedicated person when it comes to teach someone. So yeah, I completely agree with every comment in the comments. Okay, so he is excited more than me. Yeah, the real OP guy, a natural teacher. Mm,
Thank
yeah,
you.
and I like the way he said that's all.
Good.
Okay. Anything else you want to share about Docker? How can uh, wait my network? Okay. How can people go from after this video? What should they look for in Docker? How can they
Actually, this is just
approach to learn
yeah.
this?
This is just the introduction to Docker. To be really honest, guys, this is just an introduction to Docker. You have many, many, many things available
Yeah.
in the Docker. Many things, many concepts which are available in the Docker file. Docker file is kind of the best concept which is available with Docker. Okay, many, many, many keywords
Yeah.
are there. Many customizations are available. The concept which I love about the Docker is Docker Compose. Many containers are running, let's say 9 to 10 containers are running, and you need to interlink those containers, let's say .NET container, PHP container, Python container, any container. So you need to link those containers, and Docker networking concept is typical to link those containers. So there's something that is known as Docker Compose, which is the newer
Yeah.
concept for Docker, which is not installed pre-built when you install a Docker. You need to install it separately, Docker Compose. So this is the greater concept. So I suggest you to learn the Docker uh, till the point. Start from where I left off. Learn about the Docker file, learn about the Docker Compose, Docker networking,
Yeah.
CLI concepts, and anything.
Hmm. Okay. Priyadarshini is saying best tutor. I hope he creates more videos. Plus,
Thank you
I
so much.
shared your YouTube channel link.
Oh my God.
You asked me not to, but yeah, the
Yeah,
audience
I
asked and
told
I
you.
gave the link. Uh, I gave the link. They asked me that if he has a YouTube channel, so I had to share the link.
Okay, okay, cool, cool.
Thank God they asked. Okay. Sandeep is asking how to get online Docker shell executing platform.
You can use Play with Docker. there's a website that's known as Play with Docker. You can get the environment from the Docker, or you can install a Docker on your
Yeah.
local machine or your local environment. I'm going to show you in just a minute. Just go on the docker.com for the if you're using the Linux VM or Windows, just download the Docker and just download, simply install a Docker, and if you run the Docker version command on your Linux terminal or the Windows CMD, it will show you some of the output. That means the Docker is installed.
Okay, one question. What will you choose for Docker, Windows or Linux?
Definitely Linux. मतलब to be really honest, I love Linux.
Linux.
Linux is the kind of खून में
Yeah.
घुस गई.
True, very true. Okay, Ahmed is asking best resources for learning Docker.
To be really honest, Ahmed, I just learned the Docker from the documentation only. To be really honest, but
Exactly.
yeah, to learn the concepts or to learn any kind of technology, let's say Terraform or Docker, Kubernetes, OpenShift, anything, just don't kind of directly go towards any kind of video or something. Just go towards the official
Hmm.
documentation. The language is the language is very simple to understand on the official documentation. Some people say बहुत मुश्किल होता है पढ़ना. There's nothing like that. This is a completely myth. Just go towards official documentation, learn what actually the concept is, and just implement by your own. I suggest you to make your own projects, your own kind of containers or something, so that you can find yourself where you are lagging. This is how I
Yeah,
learned the things.
same approach. I prefer documentation over videos.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other questions? Or maybe you can show how they can use Docker on like their base system or the
Just a
virtual
second.
machines.
I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Cool. So if you go on the website is known as docker.com, very well then. Accelerate how you build, share, and run the modern applications. Okay, good. So if you need to download the Docker inside your environment or the Linux machine or anything, just go or search here Docker desktop, Docker hub. Just a second. Just search download Docker. Hmm, sorry, download Docker. You can find many links over here. Download for the Windows or download for the Linux or anything. Just search for these, and you will simply get the link, and you can directly use the curl command or something, so that you can download the Docker from here. There's normal just the installation of the software, nothing greater. So this is the other kind of OS for like the Windows, Mac, or like this. For the Windows, you need to use the Hyper-V or something. Docker Engine. Mm, yeah, this is just a normal concept. Just to download the software, and install it normally. There's no big deal. Just go on site on the official website and download. That's completely it. I hope you got the concept. I'm not finding the. I'm unable to find the link for the Linux actually, but yes, it is available somewhere. Don't worry. Don't worry. You can find this. Just search for a Docker download for the Linux, Ubuntu or anything. Let me search Docker for Linux. Yeah, here it is. Just download the repository. Okay, use these commands. You need to curl this you need to add the gpg key, the signed URL, and after that just download this as per your specifications, version 1 18.06 or something. This is for Ubuntu or Debian. For Red Hat, or you need to purchase the EE version. Okay, you cannot find that Red Hat over here because Red Hat is paid. That is known as Enterprise Edition. We are using Docker CE version, that is known as Community Edition for the CentOS, because CentOS is free. You can add the GPG keys and the repositories in the space these commands, and the Docker will be installed on a machine. There's no big deal. I hope you got the point, Seema.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And we have uh, an awesome question from Priya Darshini. What is the use of Ansible? She
Ansible is
has
my
looked
favorite tool.
on your YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay. Ansible is simply means let's give. I remember something from Ansible. I hope you remember this, Seema. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So, what actually Ansible is a configuration management tool. Actually, let's say you have 10 Windows servers, 20 Linux servers, or something like this. And if I say you need to install some kind of softwares. Let's say you need to install Chrome on the Windows. I need to install a Firefox. Let's say not Firefox. Let's say you need to install any kind of let's say Firefox on the Linux VMs. You need to go in on those machines or on those servers. You need to install those softwares manually. Okay. Let's say, what if I say I'm going to give you one script. Just execute that script, and that script will be executed on all those 30 servers in just 30 to 40 seconds, I think. And those softwares will be
Yeah.
installed as per the given configurations on that script. This is the power of Ansible. This is the power of
Mm.
automation. Ansible is the configuration management tool. कितने ही servers हो, just write that script, and the on the scripts on which the scripts which is executed on those machines, those are known as the managed hosts. Thousands of hosts can be there, and the script which is executed by the machine, which is the host, that is known as the controller node. This is the power of
Mm.
Ansible, actually.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
Ansible is built on Python. So I guess it's
Yeah,
very powerful tool.
the templates,
Yeah.
and the Ginger templates, everything is made on Python.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think you have covered everything so amazingly and beautifully. So
thank
if
you.
anyone has any question, you can drop it in the chat, or you
Sure.
can connect with him on his LinkedIn. The link is in the description box, the LinkedIn ID of his. And also, a request, please take a snapshot, share your learnings. Okay, don't just share the screenshot of this session, but share your learning, what you learned from this session. Do add value, like Eddie says, or every open source person says, do add value to others. So if you start sharing these, so others will also get to learn what Docker is, and they will be interested in learning that. So that's the, I think that's the best thing you can do to a person and for us.
Thank you so much, all. Thank you so much, Bash Women community, for inviting me. This is a great honor, and thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You always, I mean, amaze us, like me too, because I have learned so much from you. Yeah, so
Mhm.
thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good night.
Okay, yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.
Okay, wait. I think I left one question. That
Mhm.
is from Ahmed. Have you ever read the Docker Handbook of Free Code Camp?
No, I haven't read any kind of Docker handbook or something. I just refer to the official documentation for any kind of
Yeah,
queries or something. I just directly just don't go any other link or something. I just simply, not with just a Docker, any technology like Terraform, Packer, or anything. I just go towards the
yeah,
official documentation only.
yeah. Same here.
Yeah,
It's long. Like documentation is pretty detailed, and the language
exactly.
is pretty easy to understand. So
It is.
we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
learn everything. Yeah.
There's a myth in
So
the market
we
available
don't
that कि
have to
बहुत मुश्किल
search.
होती है. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But once you start exploring documentation, there is no going back.
Exactly. There's no way back to home
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, I
Okay.
think we are
I
over
think,
now. The questions are over.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Seema. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone. I hope
Bye
I
everyone.
will
Thank you.
see your posts everywhere. Do tag him
Mhm.
in on LinkedIn. He is not available on Twitter.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.